go, guys. Quiet, please. This is X-ray 015 Alpha, take 1.
And action.
I had a chance to sit down with Brian Brewer, Daniel Craig, and Chris Olivia after they and several other members of the Cloud Imperium team wrapped on our first ever full performance capture shoot.
Full performance capture is capturing 3 elements of an actor's performance. It's capturing their body, capturing their face, and capturing their audio, making sure that everything is synced up and timed correctly. Traditionally speaking, you would capture the actor's performance, you would have an actor somewhere in a VO booth do some dialogue, and then you would have an animator come in and animate the face. But with performance capture, you get a more true performance from our actor because everything is being recorded right there. So you get a lot of subtleties that you wouldn't normally capture any other way.
How did it go on set?
It was a bit chaotic. It was a really long week, but we came out in the end. We introduced a lot of things we never had in the pipeline before, so it was a lot of challenges. We had to sync everything up with time code. We had to bring the head cams into the system. But we got it all figured out in the end, and we got some good stuff. We got all the actors together, and I've been going through the data last week, and it's looking very good and nice and clean.
Chief Visual Officer Chris Olivia stepped in as the director for this test shoot. So Chris, your job was to direct the actors on set to get a performance from them.
Right.
How do you think that relates to film production versus motion capture production?
Well, I think it's extremely similar in that the main goal is to capture performance. In film, you're really worried about 1 or 2 cameras. You know, if there's a B camera, you're worried about just the frame itself, composition, and sort of like the movement within that frame. If the emotion's coming through, something like for a game, for motion capture, you sort of have to be a little bit more open-ended as far as kind of you don't know exactly where the camera's going to be. The environment or space maybe hasn't been worked out fully yet, so you're probably focused a little bit as a director more on the performance itself, almost like a stage play.
So the advantages of working in this type of virtual environment is you can take many takes of the same scene. You can then select the elements that you think are best from each take, and you can marry them together to make one seamless scene.
We can change gestures if we need to. If somebody needs to interact with a prop, we can adjust it slightly.
You can even go as far as to take just the face and audio from one scene and apply it to another scene.
It's amazing that we can capture the subtleties of a human performance. And we even have a virtual camera on set.
We can do everything that a traditional cameraman can do. We can boom, truck, dolly, zoom, pan, you name it, we can do it. And what it gives us is it gives us that subtlety that you generally don't get with hand-keyed animation, at least not easily. And it just adds that element of realism to our scene.
So I noticed all the actors had these little marks on their faces. What was the purpose of that?
Well, in order for the software to properly pick up the actors' faces, you have to mark them up. You have to put small dots and small lines around their mouths to better track their muscle movement, basically.
Now, this is just the first test of full performance capture necessary to deliver the kind of detail needed for a Chris Roberts game. And there were a lot of lessons learned.
We learned how to take all these different elements and merge them together and make them work as one seamless tool. We learned how to work with multiple actors on set all at one time.
It was a very successful test shoot. Worked out a lot of the kinks technically, so creatively and artistically, Chris Roberts, the actors, will be able to come in, knock it out of the park.
And with this test, we were able to harness the power of full performance capture for Squadron 42 and our Star Citizen game.
What I'm really excited about is basically seeing how all these little parts fit together. Now we have the motion capture, but the ships, the environments, the characters, the audio, the visual effects, there's so many little parts that come together, so I'm really excited to see how the fans perceive this, because it's looking pretty good, and I'm excited to see the reactions.
So stay tuned as we add full performance capture to our pipeline and to the games Squadron 42 and Star Citizen. And who knows, maybe a commercial or two. I'm Michael Moreland, reporting from Austin, Texas.